Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be talking about working as a consultant in a Big Four. Now, I am a consultant at one of the Big Four, and I've been working here now for almost 11 months total if we include my internship, so almost a year. And let me start out by explaining what the Big Four are. So you might have heard of them. They are Deloitte, EY, Ernst & Young, PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and KPMG. I don't know what they stand for, but it's a name. I'll put it up on the screen. But these four companies are called the Big Four because they are the big four accounting firms. But they don't do only accounting. Like, they do audit, they do tax, but they also do consulting. And so you might be wondering, what is a consultant? Well, to put it shortly, a consultant is a person who gives professional advisory advice to another company or organization. Now, it's usually in professional services, but this could be ranging from anything that a company does, truly. So that could include finance consulting, human capital consulting, advising the senior level people at a company. It could be management consulting, it could be strategy consulting. The list goes on. There's so many. There's data analytics consulting, there's tech implementation consulting, software consulting, etc. And so the range is quite large, and consulting is honestly known for being a hours heavy type of job where you're working more than 40 hours a week. But I'm thankful to say, in my experience, I have not had that problem at all, and a lot of my coworkers also don't have this problem, and this includes people at other Big Four firms that I know. So I'd like to debunk that fact first of all. Now, I should note, it depends on the company and department and what project you're on. So as a consultant, you're giving advice to other companies, right? Now, who are these companies? Great question. So when you work at a Big Four or any consulting company, you have certain skills, right? And so there's this internal resume portal where you have all your skills listed and maybe your preferences on what types of work you want to do. Now, a company, let's say, for example, HP or Google, they want strategic help. Maybe they want to change how they work. Maybe they want to go from remote work to hybrid work, and they don't know how to do it. Maybe they have internal teams that could do it, but it would be way easier to just hire a company for 8 months to give them the plan of how to go from remote to hybrid. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to give this problem statement in the form of a document called Request for Proposal, RFP. And they're going to toss this problem statement out to several consulting companies. And they're going to ask them, hey, give us a pitch telling us that you can solve our problem for us. So they go to KPMG, they go to Deloitte, EY, PwC, the MBB, which is the big three consulting firms. They'll go to all these companies and say, help us. And so all of these companies will have a week or two maybe. And they'll look at that PDF Word document and be like, okay, let's craft a PowerPoint deck that says exactly how we can provide services to Google or HP or whatever. The price of it, so it might be, I don't know, millions of dollars. It might cost millions of dollars. And they'll say specifically, hey, we're going to have certain people on this team. We're going to have a director who knows tech analytics. We'll have a person who specializes in DEI. And you'll have 3 entry-level associates that know how to do XYZ. And then there'll be exact slides saying, hey, here are qualifications. And they'll put examples of other companies they've worked with in the past and what they've done for them. So maybe if you're helping Google, you might have a qualification slide for a company like Google, like Microsoft or something. And you'll say like, hey, we previously worked with Microsoft and we did this work and we helped them boost blah, blah, blah by 20%, whatever. And you'll have slides that specifically say what we're going to do, The project plan will have a timeline saying what deliverables we're going to give to that client if we win this proposal. And then we say how much it's going to cost. So we have that time, right? And the directors of the consulting company, they go and pitch in a PowerPoint. They go pitch this to Google or HP or whatever client has this problem. And they'll say, you should hire us. And if that company does get accepted, then let's say PwC wins the offer for that problem. And then they get paid that amount, and they gather a team of consultants from all levels. So you'll have entry-level consultants, you'll have manager-level consultants, senior-level consultants, director-level consultants, and they'll all come together and form a team. And for 8 months or whatever, however long that project is supposed to last, they'll be working solely on that project. So that is what consultants do. Now, before the pandemic, for each company, your client, you would have to travel to that client company from Monday through Thursday because you're helping them, right? This is before remote work was common. So you'd go there, and then on Friday, let's say you live in New York City, you would go into your home office. So these big four companies have offices all over the country, in many different countries too. And so you would go to your New York City office that Friday. But now, after the pandemic, it's a lot more flexible, and I've never had to travel to a client site. So I'm technically a hybrid employee, but it's basically remote. I can go into my home office whenever I want, which is Chicago. But yeah, so that is what has changed. So now you just work with whatever your client is Monday through Friday, and you do it all from home on your computer. But sometimes some clients do want your team to travel, and in which case you would travel. The company pays for all of this, your hotel, your food, whatever. And that is what consulting is. Now, in the Big Four, although accounting is the reason they're called the Big Four, consulting is a major part of how much money they make. So you can be a consultant at one of these companies. Now, after graduation, I started working at a consulting Big Four firm. I'm specifically a management consultant in human capital management consulting. So that means we focus on helping the people aspect of client problems. So it could be anything. It could be like a governmental organization in Atlanta. Maybe they want some help with their people. Maybe they want to reorg. Maybe they want to implement a new software for their HR. Maybe they want to do a talent strategy for the next 5 years, and they want to see how they can attract the right individuals to work at the governmental organization. You could have a nonprofit. Maybe it's a homelessness services org. One of my clients was a homelessness services org, and they are trying to figure out why people are leaving their industry, like an attrition problem. So it could range. It could be a tech company, it could be Walmart, like so cool because you get to work on different companies for a short period of time, and you get to learn more because, in my opinion, the more companies you get to work with, the more you learn. So, and you have different types of problems you help out with. So you're learning the most. And so thankfully, I've never had to work more than 45 hours. Like traditionally, I'd say on average, 40 hours is the norm. In between projects, there's what is called the bench. That means you're just in between projects, kind of like a sports team, you're on the bench. And at which point you're working less than 40 hours. You're just doing internal stuff instead. Like maybe you're helping with recruiting, or you're helping write those pitch decks that I was talking about earlier. So that is what a Big Four consultant does. Now, during the project, depending on what type of consultant you are, you make deliverables. So a deliverable is really what you give to the client as your solution. And that could be multiple deliverables over a span of a few months or maybe a few years. And so these deliverables are commonly in the form of a PowerPoint deck or a Word document, or if it's like maybe you're providing a learning services, maybe you're making a video to teach the client's company employees something, in which case it might be a video. So the deliverables can range. So it all depends on what type of company you're working for or which client you have. So that is where that comes in. And overall, my experience has been solid. So I've been an intern for 2 months there, and then since then I've been full-time. And I've gotten to work with a variety of clients. One was internal, so my company. When the company went from remote to hybrid, that was one project. Then when we had the homelessness services org, we had I was implementing a software called Microsoft Viva for a electrical grid company, and now I'm on another internal project. So this is a global project. So as you can see, there's quite a variety, and it's pretty cool because you get to learn a lot. You, as an entry-level consultant, you take a lot of notes during meetings. You make the deliverables like PowerPoint decks. You become an expert at PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. So you do a lot of data analysis in Excel. Maybe you have qualitative and quantitative research in Excel, and you have to figure out how can we say in a deck how, for example, a data you have is quantified. For example, let's say you interviewed a bunch of people at the company, like the employees, and you asked them like, hey, what type of software do you want to in your next software that you use at work every day? And then you might say, oh, 7 out of 10 people said they want XYZ software. You can put that in your deck. So that's the type of stuff a consultant does, and I've loved it so far, and I do recommend it. Consulting pays pretty well. There is a website that tells you like what a lot of the major consulting companies pay for starting out of undergrad or out of grad school, and yeah, they're pretty high. I'd say it's pretty good pay for being a PowerPoint maker, so I highly recommend it. And if you have any questions at all, or just want to say hi, definitely leave that down in the comments below. I hope this was helpful, and if you want to know more specifics about what goes into a deliverable or what types of consulting there are, let me know. I'd love to make one. Well, thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.